Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sarah. You can find me anywhere on Sarah of Horror, and here on my channel I review movies, TV shows, and other things I find interesting to talk about. But today I will be reviewing a little bit of a different kind of movie. It is a kind of a dark horror fantasy with a few segments of horror in it. And I will be reviewing The Ice Tower. The Ice Tower from 2025, directed by Lucile Hadžihalilović, starring Marion Cotillard, Clara Pacini, and August Deal. Okay, so in this one we have Jeanne, who is a 15-year-old girl. She is an orphan girl, and one day she witnesses the filming or the film production of the new Snow Queen movie, and she gets very inspired and fascinated by the main character, the Snow Queen herself, played by Marion Cotillard, and things start to spiral out from there. So I have watched one film from Lucile before, Earwig, and I could kind of see a similar pattern and similarity in the style that she has, because Ice Tower is kind of reminiscent of Earwig as well, in the sense of not the story, but how everything's built up, how she creates the atmosphere, and both are kind of slow burners. So if you're not into like a movie that is a slow burn that takes a while to build up, then this movie might not be for you. But right away we get to know Jeanne and her situation, where she's living, and kind of what she wants to escape from. And then I'm glad that Lucile chose a movie that is about the filming of another movie. So the film production and the shooting of the film is the central plot in this film. So it made me kind of connect to the film more. And also I love the use of the cinematography. It was very beautiful. The contrast between the light and the dark, and then we have the Snow Queen herself, her costume, and which was just extraordinary. It was created with a specific theme in mind, especially the corset part, with some other details. And the costumes in this film gorgeous, and the scenery, the cinematography, and also the actors, they do a wonderful job. But I think the main focus should be on Jeanne. It's a film about her, even though Christina, the Snow Queen, is very prominent in this one as well, and kind of takes over in every scene she's in. She commands the room, and you cannot take your eyes off of her. And there are so many interesting scenes between Jeanne and Christina, and like the way that they interact, and everything just spirals into something a bit deeper and darker. A little bit darker than I was expecting, actually. So the tone is definitely a little bit dark in this film. So as I said, not like a strictly horror film, but it does have a few horror elements. And there are like gorgeous scenes in the snow, like when they're shooting and portraying the snow, and Christina in her like white outfits, in contrast to some blood, which just works so effectively and efficiently in this film. I do have to say that this film is a bit long. It could have been a bit shorter, I think. The editing could have, been a little bit tighter, but the length of the film and how it was edited, it also speaks for Lucile's kind of personal movie style. So I kind of understand it, but like, just for me, it could have been a bit shorter, and still been a very good movie. So yeah, this movie definitely is a lot of atmosphere and build up, but I was very drawn into it. But I can understand if someone would not be and just kind of feel a bit bored. And yeah, this is not a movie for everyone, but I think it's a very fascinating story, and I think it's built up in such a way that it's very interesting. And I think the climax and like the final scenes of the film are very, very just effectful. I think both actresses who played Jeanne and Christina, they understood their parts very, very well. And technically, this is a really amazing movie. So I'm glad I got to watch it, thanks to Monsters of Film, of course. And I did mention that I will be having Lucille talking about some of the things about her film, because after I saw the film, we got a Q&A with Lucille herself, and I filmed some of her answers. So I'll be putting them right after I grade the film. So yeah, I did like the story, did like the atmosphere and the actresses and the performances. Scenery was great. The movie was just a little bit too long, but it's a very good take on the Snow Queen, and it was a good story to focus on. So, what am I giving the Ice Tower? I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So an 8 out of 10 for the Ice Tower. But of course, let's hop on over to Lucille and see what she had to say about the film herself.
Visual sounds, even in the script we put a lot of notes about the soundtrack, even if at the end it's something different, but to express things goes very much through these aspects rather than dialogue, and not even so much about action. And then we had a few films and references, or paintings, or photos, and so we talked with the GP, with the set designer, etc., to try to use some elements from that. You mean,
is that relevant
to her attraction?
or
Yeah, I think very much. Yeah. I think she felt a resonance because also she's suffering. Jeanne, maybe we don't know so much about Christina, but there is a sort of parallel in between them two, like maybe the absence of parents or mother, and or the impossibility to to have or to be a mother. So I think it's maybe in the story, in the film, Jeanne is the only one who can really see that, and this is also, or maybe also it's something that Christina is playing a little bit on to take Jeanne into her world. But I think, yeah, of course, it's I think it is really like an echo for Jeanne, and she can she see a bit of herself somehow in Christina.
Thank you.
Wrapping it, and I make the film because it's a bit like if I was in the fog and I saw a few things and I try to catch them, and then I another thing, and then I discover a sort of link in between, and so on. So at first it came really from, let's say, this tale, even if at the end it's really not an adaptation, but this idea of a snow queen. What is a snow queen? What is a cold queen, and why such a cold female figure could be so attractive for a girl like Jeanne? So it came from that, and then came the idea of and it came somehow from from Andersen also, because at the beginning of the story in Andersen there is the devil is creating a mirror that reflects in a distorted way the world, and this mirror breaks and pieces of the mirror goes into the heart and the eyes of people. And then I thought, it's a beautiful image. It's complicated to make it, but it made me think about screens. So then the cinema came into the story. So and so on and so on. And at some point, maybe at the editing only, I realized that it was very much a film about cinema, about a girl who becomes fascinated by screens, by images, by and maybe at the end even she might be becoming a filmmaker.
Okay, we're back. And yeah, of course, if you've seen the film, let me know in the comments below your own thoughts about the film. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, helps me out a lot, and comment something for the algorithm. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.